We've made it to unit number 3. In unit number 1, we talked about God the Father. In unit 2, we talked about Jesus Christ. And now in unit number 3, we're going to talk about the person of the Holy Spirit. Today's question is, what does the Bible tell us about the Holy Spirit? Imagine that you are explaining to a little kid what a spirit is. You might take a look at Casper, the friendly ghost. Casper is a supernatural being who doesn't really have a body. Sometimes a spirit means the same as a soul. There are lots of different spirits besides Casper, the friendly ghost. The Bible talks about Satan's demons, evil spirits, and angels. All of those things are bodiless beings that are not considered natural. But there's one spirit that's very different from all other spirits, and that is the Holy Spirit. Today's church word is one of the words that we can use to describe the Holy Spirit and the rest of our triune God. That word is eternal, which means no beginning and no end. That means that the Holy Spirit has been around forever and will continue to be around. We have already studied the Father and the Son, God the Father and Jesus Christ. And we've learned that they're omnipresent. They're present everywhere. That they're eternal. They have no beginning and no end. And that they're omniscient. They know all things. Well, the Holy Spirit is also omnipresent. The Holy Spirit is also eternal. And the Holy Spirit is also omniscient. Humans are none of those things. We're only present in one place. We have a beginning and we have an end, and we certainly don't know all things. The Bible tells us in Psalm chapter 139, verse 7 and 8, that the Holy Spirit is present everywhere. It tells us in Hebrews chapter 9, verse 14, that the Holy Spirit is eternal. And it tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 10 and 11, that the Holy Spirit knows all things. The Bible calls the Holy Spirit God and shows that He has the characteristics of God. Next, I'd like to share with you 3 Bible passages that describe things that the Holy Spirit does. The first one is Job chapter 33, verse 4. The Spirit of God has made me. That tells us that the Spirit of God is involved with creation. The next passage is Titus chapter 3, verse 5. And here the Apostle Paul writes, He saved us, not because of righteous things we had done, but because of His mercy. He saved us through the washing of rebirth and renewal by the Holy Spirit. In that passage, the Holy Spirit is cleansing our souls. And finally, Romans chapter 8, verse 27 says, And He who searches our hearts knows the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes for God's people in accordance with the will of God. The Spirit intercedes on our behalf. These 3 passages show us that the Holy Spirit does what only God can do, and that we should honor Him as God. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 3 adds one last important point. Isaiah chapter 6 verse 3 says, "And they were calling to one another, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of his glory." Notice that the angels said, Holy, holy, holy. They say holy 3 times. By doing that, they are acknowledging all 3 persons of the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The seraphs are letting us know that all 3 members of the Trinity deserve worship and glory. Today's key passages are Job chapter 33 verse 4, Titus chapter 3 verse 5, and Romans chapter 8 verse 27.